All right, so here we go. Yes, I'm going to be showing you some things that make Starfield 10 times more enjoyable of an experience, so you're going to want to definitely take notes here. Also, we're going to be talking about controversial missing features from the game, and guess what? Ultimately solving those problems today. Also, if your game isn't running well, we've got some official updates about potential upcoming solutions. And don't make this mistake. No, it's not what you think. Actually, I think this could be applied to your gaming journey overall. So it's something I definitely wanted to highlight. And has Bethesda regressed from previous Bethesda games because of Starfield? Wow, this is one hot take we're going to be taking a closer look at. But right now, the community is definitely discussing it. And I'm going over your top comments later in the video. But guess what? You can now submit your own gameplay, your settlement builds, your spaceships that you've built, funny or serious character creations, I should say base builds, I'm thinking about Fallout here, your rare weapon finds, Easter eggs, and more by following the link in the description below. I'll credit you, of course, and show off what you have created and what you have been up to in your own Starfield adventure. So get to it, see that link in the description below. I cannot wait to see what you guys are up to. All right, so yeah, this is extremely important. I think it's going to enhance your Starfield experience big time if you really embrace it. Check it out right here. It goes on to say this: you can travel between planets and also land without opening the map. It says the game UI tutorial doesn't explain this as far as I could tell, but if you're in your ship and you open the scanner, you can look at whatever planet you want to go to, then press E. After that, it will give you a prompt to travel by holding R, at which point you will start to fly towards that planet. The same thing goes for landing on the planet too. It's not seamless, and I've seen a lot of complaints about looking at the map all the time. This effectively makes it so you only need to open the map if you need to land somewhere precise or to grav jump to another system. In my opinion, this makes the experience so much more organic. And yeah, you don't have to keep opening up the menus, the map all the time. But I think this is going to be increasing your enjoyment of the game big time. But we also got to talk about other elements of the game that we can further enhance as well. Check it out right here. The Skyrim's in-town map 12 years ago versus Starfield's. Stick with me. There's going to be an end result to this, don't worry. But yeah, we have Skyrim here. And then, of course, we have Starfield, which many people consider this to be a downgrade, of course. But check out this headline right here. It says the following: Starfield interactive maps are live. Helpful city maps, a searchable star map, and more. Maps for everything under the suns. This is insanely helpful. Check it out right here. We have an example of course, one of the maps. This is New Atlantis, and it shows all the shops and destinations that you can expect from New Atlantis. They even have, yes, of course, other maps on here as well, including Cydonia, which you could see right here. And they are currently working on other maps for Neon and that sort of thing. I will keep you guys in the know and updated, but they even went a step further and also have a star map where you can actually chart and save where you've been and what you have discovered. This is going to be super invaluable and helpful to your experience, and I think it's going to enhance it a lot more and make it easier to understand where you are, because yeah, some of us don't have the memory to remember exactly where all the shops are and everything like that. So yeah, hopefully there's like an official mod down the road that gives us a local map in the game itself. We'll have to wait and see. Now, we also got to talk about some of the missing features from Starfield that did not make it into the game at launch. Some people were super disappointed by this one right here. Starfield doesn't have NVIDIA's DLSS at launch, but wait a second. We have kind of an update here about that one. Starfield's controversial missing PC feature already modded into the game, but that's an exclusive AMD partnership led to no DLSS support, but players have fixed that. So let's get into this a little bit further. Check it out right here. It goes on to say the following: the good news is that a Starfield Upscaler, which allows players to replace FSR2 with DLSS or XESS, was one of the first mods uploaded to the Nexus Mods website after the game went live. Now, it's not bug-free, and some PC players are still reporting issues getting their preferred upscaling tech to work, but it's a start and will no doubt continue to get refined in the days ahead. So yeah, I'm going to throw the link in the description below to the Starfield Upscaler check it out. I think a lot of you guys will be very happy with that one, of course. But there is another setting that a lot of people have been dying for, and it's so simple. A field of view setting, especially on PC. And we're going to get into some really cool stuff about this one. But check it out right here. On Reddit, it says, Bethesda, you have alienated 33% of users on PC by having no FOV setting. This is an accessibility option. So people really need this for other reasons beyond it just looking cool. But get this, it says how to change FOV confirmed to work. It says in documents, my game Starfield, create a text file and name it starfieldcustom.ini. Inside the text file, add these lines right here, but we can take this a step further just in case if you actually don't want to do that, because if we head on over to Nexus Mod, we do have a Starfield FOV Mod where they just allow you to upload a file and do that. Or yes, you can go ahead and create this file from scratch. It's not that difficult. It's not brain surgery, of course. And I think a lot of you will be very, very happy with this workaround for sure, being able to adjust your field of view on PC. But yeah, we also got to talk about Starfield's performance, because there are some things that you can do to actually enhance the performance of the game. So check it out right here. It goes on to say the following: AMD Starfield graphics driver lands promises major performance boost. So if you did miss out on this, you're running on AMD, by all means, make sure your graphics drivers are updated. That also applies to anything NVIDIA as well. I highly recommend you all to do this for sure. But yeah, there's apparently one graphics driver that's having a lot of issues. Check it out right here. It says Intel promises fix for ARC's graphic driver forkage in Starfield. Crashes and plenty more afflicting Intel ARC gamers. I had to say this on Twitter. Say, we are aware of issues with Starfield on Intel ARC graphics. We're working to improve the experience for the game's general release next week. So I don't know how many of you are actually on that graphics card. I definitely did want to bring that one up just in case some of you are. Now, we also need to head on over here and further talk about what you can do overall for the performance of the game, because yes, there are actual mods that did release. Starfield performance optimizations. Highly recommend you checking this one out. It already has nearly 15,000 downloads, has been barely out, but they're already doing stuff in the modding scene to really improve the performance of the game. So by all means, check that out. Now, there's some stuff that you probably did not know about the game that you're definitely missing out on. We've got to talk about it. So check it out. It says the screenshots you take become loading screens. This is so cool. So yeah, get to taking those pictures because they actually have a purpose, at least in my mind. I think this is something that other games definitely need to pick up on. I would be taking far more photos with the actual photo editor and the camera in games if I knew that the loading screens would really show off my own work and my past experience in the game, my personal journey. I think this is such a cool touch for Starfield, and I love to see this sort of thing. Also, I want to talk about a mistake that you should not make with gaming in general, and I love this thread right here. Check it out. It says, don't make the same mistake with reviews that I did a few years ago. And this one comes from Warm Beddards. He says this: a few years ago, I was incredibly hyped for Cyberpunk. I started playing the game and had a good time that evening. When I had turned it off for the night, I started looking here on Reddit for other people's thoughts and reviews on here and other outlets, and saw a lot of negative feedback. Although I didn't really see what people were talking about in game, the negative things absolutely destroyed my hype. I resolved that the game should be fixed before I started playing again. I haven't touched it since launch day. So if you're really hyped up for Starfield like I am, don't kill your hype by taking in the negative reviews and comments people say. Have fun with it. Now, with Cyberpunk in particular, I actually did run into problems that made me put down the game. Outside of any other outside influence or opinions, I waited for certain things to be fixed. So that's understandable. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to say that you can't have critical feedback, of course. But I do also think it's important to know if you are enjoying something and others aren't, that's okay. Continue to enjoy it. You know what I mean? So I myself, I am really, really enjoying Starfield. Yes, it's not perfect. It has some issues here and there. But I also view this as an opportunity for Bethesda to go in and fix some of those issues as well, which I think that they will do in the long term of the game. But what we have here at launch is a fantastic Bethesda launch, at least in my opinion. Hopefully you feel the same way. Hopefully you're not going through too many issues performance-wise. I have heard that some people are really going through some stuff, but I'm curious to see how it's running on your end. Sound off, actually. Kind of curious. But the community is definitely talking about this one right here. You guys have got to give your opinion on this one, but it's a hot topic, so brace yourselves. The Starfield feels like it's regressed from other Bethesda games. One comes from No Dust 21.5. Said I tried liking it, but the constant loading in space environment translates poorly compared to games like Skyrim and Fallout. With Skyrim and Fallout, you feel like you're in this world and can walk anywhere you want. With Starfield, I feel like I'm contained in a new box every 5 minutes. This game isn't open world. It handles the map worse than Skyrim or Fallout 4. With those games, you could walk everywhere. Starfield is just a constant stream of teleporting where you have to be and cranking out missions. It's like trying to exit Whiterun in Skyrim, then fast traveling to the open world. Then in the open world, you walk to your horse, go through a menu, and now you fast travel on your horse in a cutscene to Solitude. But then again, this isn't Skyrim. That's what I have to say about that one. You aren't getting on a horse. Now it says the feeling of constantly being contained and limited, almost as if I'm playing a linear single-player game, is just not pleasant at all. We went from open world RPGs to fast travel simulators. I'm not asking for a space sim. I'm asking for a game as big as this to not feel 1 mile long and an inch deep when it comes to exploration. We have some replies, an interesting reply here. It says, I do agree with almost all the criticism in this thread, even though I knew and argued that it was never meant to be a No Man's Sky Elite Dangerous type space sim. Once in game, I still had to get my head around the true realization that it's really just another Bethesda game at the end of the day. And I do love Bethesda games. However, about midway through my 4 hours of playing last night, I still got pretty hooked going around and doing the quests, etc. I think you really just have to look at it as a straight up space RPG, even more akin to Mass Effect than to a traditional Bethesda Game Studio game. It has almost all the DNA of a Bethesda game, but I agree it almost doesn't even feel open world. It's open world in that it's non-linear with a million things to do, but not in that seamless Oblivion, Skyrim, Fallout way. So that's a little disappointing, but now that I have my expectations properly in check, I think I'm still going to really enjoy it a ton as a straight up RPG, and I haven't even really gotten to any outpost building or ship customization, my most anticipated aspects. So hopefully they're somewhat compelling. So definitely an interesting discussion. How are you guys feeling about the game if you are playing it in early access? How many hours have you played? I'm kind of curious. And did you feel this way at the beginning of your playthrough? At first, I was a little bit concerned when I started playing the game, especially with the amount of loading screens I was experiencing. And then I got into this rhythm. I think the tip at the very beginning of this video really did help me. Being able to pop open the scanner while in your ship and just going to the planet from that screen without having to constantly open up menus, for me, made it feel so much more organic. It was such a simple little adjustment in how I was playing the game and enhanced the experience for me personally. But yeah, this game is definitely not Skyrim. It isn't Fallout. It's very different in how it feels. And I myself, I'm okay with that currently. And I think it, it runs well for me, and I'm enjoying the moment-to-moment action, combat, and the gameplay loop I'm currently in, with being able to find rewards, upgrade my character through perks, and of course the weapon system, and yeah, the ships and base building. There's so much stuff to do in this game. It's just a different, very type of open-endedness compared to Skyrim and Fallout. All right, so yeah, let's keep going, shall we? We also have another take here I wanted to highlight. It says, I played a solid 9 hours straight since launch, and here's a quick thought. Holy hell, I don't want to leave the game. I was able to do several main quests, side quests, crafting, mining, shipbuilding, and I still feel like I was just scratching the surface. It feels like I'm replaying Skyrim for the first time again in 2011. No offense, Starfield deniers, but this is a good game. I'm just loving it, and that's worded perfectly. It does feel like I'm replaying Skyrim. It feels like, to me personally, Bethesda has really rediscovered the roots. I'm so happy that this is a single-player centric RPG experience from Bethesda Games Studio, and I'm loving it. All right, so yeah, remember, a reminder here to submit your gameplay, your character creations. We have Meet Andre 3003 Space Spin. I found this absolutely hilarious. So if you guys have anything funny, if you have cool base building, gameplay that you want to highlight, showing off your base, showing off your ships, that sort of thing, be sure to submit your gameplay down below in that description below. But thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned here for more Starfield news and updates. I have you guys covered, and I will see you all next time. Take care.